All right, I think we're live.
All
Welcome
right,
to
we
the
are.
Pratt Locker. This is episode 2. I'm Bernard Chang, class of '95. Join with me, my co-host Ace Bibbs, class of '25. Ace.
Yo,
All right, so no technical difficulties. Everything's working. Chat. I have chat, but you guys won't be able to see chat. Good now.
oh,
All good.
so
Okay.
we're all good.
We're looking at the opening tip-off from the home opener against Hunter.
Yep.
There's some good ball movement. I really like how they swing the ball around. Ball's making its way around. And then, any thoughts on this on the offense or defensive end so far early in the season, Ace?
So far, I think the offense has been really good. Honestly, everyone's been strong with the ball so far that I've seen. And defensively, honestly, the energy is there. Like I said, before, like we have a lot of athletes, so the defense is reflecting that. Like guys are not just getting blown by, guys are not getting roughed up, and I think that's gonna lead us to some wins this season. Actually,
So we started off the season 2-1. I had a prediction of 3-0. Unfortunately, we dropped the first game. It was still close. We'll go over the stats, and then teams on a 2-game winning streak, and then we got 3 games coming up. 1 game tonight, Wednesday night, at United States Merchant Marine Academy, out. I think they're in Long Island somewhere. And then we got 3 home games next week. St. Joe's, Long Island, St. Joe's, Brooklyn, and then also one against Brooklyn College. Let me pull up a little bit of the stats real quick. Make sure I have the right. Here's a team. Here's a picture of the squad. Got a good-looking team this year, and if I can find the right media source. Okay. Let's see. So first game was last week against. Let's see, is this working?
NJCU.
Yeah, NJCU. So.
You know what?
Yeah, so we were out at Jersey City, and the final was. Eesh. The final was 70-81. So we dropped by 11. Actually, throughout the game, it was a pretty close contest. I think we were only down 3 at halftime. Any thoughts on any early thoughts on the game, Ace?
Early on, I was only able to actually watch the first half, and we were trading off for a while. We were down by 4 for pretty much the most part, and honestly, I felt really good seeing the energy that the team was bringing. So when I put my phone down, because I was traveling while I was watching the game, I put my phone down. I was like, all right, we got this. So when I checked back in, I kind of was a little bit surprised to see that we couldn't pull it off on the road. But early on, watching the game, the guys were geeing up. The guys were trading baskets, and I thought it was a really good game early on.
Yeah, this in the first half we were pretty much in it. It was back and forth. At halftime it was only a 3-point deficit. In the second half, they kind of kept a 5-point buffer throughout most of the second half, and we really just couldn't overcome that. Um, Elijah led the team with 18 points, 3 rebounds. We also had guys in foul trouble. So the first game of the season, we had 3 guys foul out, 3 of our key players, 3 of our starters, and then a few other guys with. We had 3 more guys with 4 fouls. So there's a lot of excessive, maybe you call it nerves or just overly aggressive, or at the same time, the referees were not great. I'm watching it, and it's like ghost phantom fouls. These guys are called, specifically 2 of them. So a lot of times, I tell the guys, you're going to be playing against 8 guys. You're going to be playing against five defenders, 5 opponents, and then the 3 refs. This happened when I played. There was a period of time when we were winning a lot of games. We actually went 12-13 one season. It should have been 13-12. I'll go into that later on. But once we started winning games, the refs started blowing whistles a little bit more consistently. So, but at some point, part of it is on. You just got to play through it. So Cam had 17. Cam really 5 for 9 from 3-point line. That was a big surprise for me. But obviously he's got the skill set to do it already. And it's great to see him coming off, not having played last year and then coming into his first game back. 5 for 9 from outside, 8 rebounds, 17 points. Trey Phillips, transfer, fashion major, 11 and 11. That's pretty good too. But Trey, again, hampered with foul. He fouled out. He had 2 blocks as well. Tommy had 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 personal fouls. So Tommy got, there was a couple of them where it was a fast break and he tried to make a miraculous play early in the game to get that block. Any other standouts? Makai had 6. Sebastian came off the bench, had 6. Kurt Thomas had 3. We'll talk more about Kurt. But Sebastian, Kurt, and F.A. had 4 fouls. F.A. had 4 fouls in the first half. But F.A. is, he's our enforcer at times. And he's got to play tough. He's got to play big. So just got to watch out for some of those fouls. Coach played 12 guys in the first half. And I think overall we got like 13 or 14 guys into the game. Ben got less than a minute, really. Mason saw a few minutes. Kareem got in for a little bit, but nothing too consistent. Just a side note with NJCUC, or New Jersey New Jersey City College. Rogers Robinson, he was the guy that I mentioned last year. He was a returning leading scorer. He had averaged only 9 points per game last year, 9.1 points per game. This game, he scored 39. I'm assuming that's a career, if not a school record. He played 35 minutes, 10 for 17 from field goal, 4 for 5 from 3, 12 for 18 from the free throw line. So he was getting to the line. And then another big guy, 32. He was kind of like he was like a refrigerator. Obviously, he was giving some of our big guys. He was not as tall as our guys, but he just kind of had the inside size. He drew a bunch of fouls, 10 points. He played 30 minutes. But the rest of the stats not tremendously impressive. I mean, the New Jersey City University shot 11 for 21 from the free throw line outside of Rogers Robinson. So the team shot 50%. I mean, that was kind of their Achilles heel, but we weren't still able to pull it out. Second game of the season, we matched up against home. This was the Hunter that you saw earlier. We came out with an 11-point win. I think we pretty much dominated most of the game early on in the first half. It was a little bit back and forth. But after, what would you say, kind of broke the game open, or?
Honestly, I think like the end of the first half, you could kind of already feel like the energy leaning towards Pratt. And then it kind of just took off from there, like you said. because really early in the game it was kind of, a little back and forth. Um, but yeah, I think for me, like going into halftime, I was like, okay, like the boys are gonna pull this off.
Yeah, you felt sitting in the stands watching the game. I mean, we were trying to cheer as much as we could, um, hoping that that'll catch with the guys, and you could tell that we had pretty much the rhythm. It was a point where when are we going to break the game open?
Yeah.
And most games, two basketball games of runs. Team scores 5, another team scores 8, 10, back and forth. And when were we going to really kind of get them in the ropes and then get a couple knockouts? Trey really stepped out in the home opener. Trey had 18 points, 9 rebounds. Elijah had 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Makai, 11 points, including the first bucket to open in the ARC with the 3 we saw earlier. Tommy had 8 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. And Cam, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. So, kind of contributed from all the starters. We had about 12 guys in the game. Sebastian came in again, 8 points, 2 for 4 from 3, 5 rebounds. Him and FA.
One thing I can say about Seb is like when he gets in the game and he attacks, like he's he doesn't turn down shots. He's not timid, and I think he's really good for us coming off the bench. He brings a lot of energy, and a lot of times on the court when Seb makes a 3, like it's always right on time. Like we always, it always is a great energy giver when he makes a 3, and I love it.
Yeah, it was. There was a point in the second half where we were still up around 8, 10 points, and Hunter would make a little bit of a run, get on a couple bucket run, and there was one play where Seb had the ball up at the baseline and drove all the way along the baseline to hit a reverse layup, and that really kind of calmed any kind of Hunter comeback. These plays and throughout also in the next game against Mount St. Mary. Certain players stepped up at key moments and squashed kind of the other opponent's run or any effort to kind of come back. And it's good to see the team overcome these runs defensively and offensively and kind of create that barrier. Another note, we out-rebounded Hunter 53-30. Anytime you have that kind of rebound advantage, you should win the game. We still had 17 turnovers. Turnovers is still going to be something that we got to watch out for. Hunter converted those 17 turnovers into 19 points for them. So just hypothetically, if you were to cut that turnover down, 2/3 or half, you cut the 17 down to like 10 or 11 or 12 turnovers, you're taking that 19 points and taking that down, a few more buckets, and we got an easy 20-plus point win. Let's see. Then we got Mount St. Mary. This was this past Saturday up in Newburgh. We drove out there. It was a nice drive, very scenic.
Very scenic.
You mentioned Newburgh. Parts of it look kind of like Philly. North Philly?
Yeah, thanks. Exactly. I was really surprised. I was taken aback. We got to this small little town area, and I was looking around. It kind of reminded me of my hometown, Philadelphia.
So Mount St. Mary, we went in there, and this was it was a big game on the road. Big game for Cam. Cam had 25 points, 10 rebounds, 3 steals. Again, 4 for 8 from 3. Cam's all-time career high was 29. I know you were trying to telepathically get those last 5 points, 4 or 5 points.
5 points, but
yeah,
I mean, 25 points is still definitely a great, contribute to the team and to our win. 25-10, come on, that's a great stat line on the night. Yeah, we wanted him to get 30 because we wanted him to, get, over his career night, but 25-10, that was great. And I also think he shot the ball pretty good too. So
I think also, a lot of players contributed. We saw a lot of guys do a lot of different things. I have some video clips from that game. One thing early on, shout out to Lucas. Lucas went in there and took out the big man from the other team, their starting center. Got him to pick up 2 technical fouls, and about halfway through the first half, their starting center got kicked out, and that was Lucas. He went in there and got under his skin for some reason. I don't know. I got to ask him what he said to him, but got the center kicked out, 2 techs. Lucas also had a really nice fast break dime dish. Let's take a little bit of a look at the game. There were a couple things that happened in the second half. We were up pretty much steadily. We were up by 10 at halftime. But Mount St. Mary is stingy. Yeah, here's a play where defensively Kurt had a nice defensive play where he forced a bad layup, got the rebound, pushed it up, and kicked it out to Tommy. And Tommy, he took it to the hole. He tried to throw it down. And that kind of energy really sparked the team. I think that led to a few successive plays here. Of course, Makai diving on the floor for the ball. Here we're going to take a look again at Kurt almost making that block, getting the rebound, pushing it up to Tommy. Tommy trying to throw it down with the left hand. Man, if he would have got that, that could have been player of the year. But then that led to shoot. Here I go again. I forgot about Kareem. Karem. Sorry. Karem. This was a play in the first half that kind of broke it open for us in the first half. Here we got Karem on the defensive end, blocking the ball, blocking the shot, getting a block shot, running back down. We're setting up. Elijah dribble drive, spins, and dishes it to Karem at the baseline for the 2-handed flush.
Two-hand flush right off the block.
Yeah, right off the
just
block.
Look at the movement. Like I love his movement. I love his energy. I think Kareem is going to be really impactful for us this year. Like running the rim, just getting into position. Look how like he's taking the space in the middle of their 3-2. He had a pesky 3-2. Obviously in practice, they practice for that. They scouted for that, and Kareem, stuck to the scout, and you've gotten all the little spots and holes that you're supposed to attack. And most importantly, he's just running. When it comes to being, a bigger guy on the court, you will make more of an impact if you're, moving around, you're mobile. And this is what happens. These are the kind of dump down passes that you get to convert on when you move around.
Yeah, and on that play, 4 guys touched the ball on the offensive end. Kareem, after he made the block, he was calling for it back. That kind of enthusiasm and energy, we need to see that all season. Make that play on the defensive end, come back, feed the big man, get that 2-handed flush right in their face. So that was a great play. Elijah also, he had a pretty big game in terms of 9 assists that game. So that's what I like to see from a point guard. Spreading the wealth. So we go back to Tommy with the near flush. I had a clip here. I think this might be it. Nope, that's not it. I had a clip. I guess I didn't upload it. After Tommy had the near flush, Mason Fritz came off the bench and hit a 3 right away. Came right off the bench, hit a 3, top of the key. That got things going even more. And then we have this play from, I got to represent number 10. Makai with the steal and the flush on the other end.
Yes. Boy.
And, that sequence within a few minutes of gameplay really kind of just sealed it.
Look at the energy. Like, I love Makai. He's not afraid to show his energy, talk his trash, walk his walk. That's one thing I love about Makai for sure.
Right. Mount St. Mary, definitely a pesky team. They were there. They were very, it was kind of chippy. I'm sure there was kind of tempers flaring inside the game. I could see a lot of players pushing, elbowing. They had some good shooters. They had a smaller guard who was still, drilling it. We managed to stay out of foul trouble, um, which is another kind of key point. We let's see. Let's take a quick look at the stats. Again, Cam with 25, 4 for 8 from 3, 10 rebounds, the double double, 7 for 9 from free throw line. Not bad. We had Kurt Thomas coming off the bench, dropping 21 points. Kurt is coming of age game, 4 rebounds, 21 points, 3 steals, 1 for 2 from 3. He hit a 3 early on in the game, in the beginning of the game, and 2 for 6 from the free throw line. We could, Kurt could have had 25 points. He could have been tied for game lead. So, those free throws you got to make. But still, nonetheless, a great game. He kind of parked out down in a low block, short corner, and Elijah will dribble, drive, spin, and just a little dime right there. I think
that's the other thing about knowing your position like that well and knowing what's going on in their defense, like that 3-2, they're sending guys up top. You can just literally bounce around down below and just eat up. And that's what Kurt did for sure. He was always in position to receive the ball. He wasn't hiding down there. And it reflected 21 points as he was converting.
I would like to see him dunk one of those next time. I know he tried once. I mean, he's got the strength. He's got the length for it. His wingspan and his length is really good. And I would say hit the gym a little bit more, some of the weights. But we also mentioned Mason Fritz, 13 points, 3 for 3 from 3-point line. Again, he had the 2 big threes at the second half. That really helped seal and close out a lot of the runs that Mount St. Mary was making, trying to come back. Lucas got 12 minutes, 2 points, 4 rebounds, and again got the other team center kicked out of the game. And then I think everybody got got a minute towards the end. Nate got some run. Amari got on the court, and Matthias got on. Really rooting for those guys. I remember my first time playing, first time getting on the court when I was a freshman. This was before we had streaming, before we had these kind of stat. I mean, they kept stats, but they weren't. You couldn't read them. We'd have to wait for the newspaper the next morning to look at the box score in the newspaper. And I remember going to the corner bodega up on Myrtle, getting a newspaper, a Newsday. Back then it was Newsday, but I looked at the scoreboard and the box score, and my name wasn't in there, even though I got into the game. Like a minute or two.
You got to score.
So you had to score, or you had to get a foul. So it's either score or get a foul. So the next time I got in the game, the first thing I did was I fouled an opponent. Assistant coach looking at me like, Bernard, what are you doing? You just got in the game, And then I was like, oh, sorry, coach. I was a little overly aggressive. Next day, go to the corner bodega, looked at the newspaper. Sure enough, my name was in the foul category. So I got my name in the newspaper. But nowadays, you got all these stats and videos. So good to see those guys getting some action. It's going to be a long season. That's all I can say, and you just got to be ready.
Be ready. Next man up mentality. Always stay ready. Especially body language is a big thing out there. Always, cheering your teammates who are on the floor because you never know. You never know when you go get that call. You got to perform right away. There's no warm up period. Like the warm up wasn't the beginning of the game. You got to be ready while you're on the bench, and when coach calls your name, pulls your jersey, you got to go in and be ready to impact right away.
Yeah, and that the thing with the Mason highlight that I didn't pull up, I'll show you next. Again, he came off the bench. He was ready to shoot, ready to make an impact. And again, still we got to watch out for the turnovers. 18 turnovers. That's still something to be cautious about. And then no Trey and no Seb in that game too. So Trey didn't play. Karam got the start. Seb did not play also. So we were missing 2 of our key contributors, and we were still able to manage pretty much. It was a 20-point win. The guy they hit a last-second jumper when no one was guarding and the game was over already. So
Yeah.
that was pretty much a 20-plus point win. Now let's look to the next few games coming up tonight. They play United States Merchant Marine. You guys can watch it online on stream. Merchant Marine. Ace, any thoughts when you played them?
They when I played them, they were pretty big. They were a big team when we played them, and they were rough. That's like one thing that I think is going to make a difference in this game is all the small stuff that we weren't kind of the missing assignments like the boxing out and when you get a rebound you got to put your elbows out and hold on tight to the ball because these guys are tough. They normally have a tough program. I'm not sure how they look this year, but they normally have a tough program, and this is where your mistakes get amplified. The tougher the team is, your mistakes will get amplified. If you don't box out, they're crashing. They're converting layups. If you catch the ball lazily, they're popping it out. If you pass the ball lazily, they're in those passing lanes. So it's just like an in-your-face kind of game. From the last time I played USMA, that is the kind of game that we should be expecting tonight.
Yeah, I remember those guys were pretty strong. At least, I didn't get in the game with them, but looking from the sidelines. So far, our record from them is 1-2. In 2025, right now, USMA is 0-1. They lost to Bard, 75-63. We're early in the season, so statistically, it's not really a good gauge in terms of where they're kind of at in the program. But some of the key players they got a 6'6". It looks like they have a pretty young team. They got a 6'6" sophomore, scored 22 points, 8 rebounds. We had another 6'3" freshman, dropped 22 points. Jack Flannery and Tim Burton. And then let's see, a 6'3" sophomore. Looks like he was going to be grabbed 9 rebounds. And then their senior, Clark Castleberry, he did not play last game, 6'8". But I'm assuming maybe if there's an injury, he might be suiting up for this next game. Who knows? So we're out there tonight, 7 p.m. Then our next game is against St. Joe's Long Island, a.k.a. St. Joe's Patshaw. Some of the old guys will know a lot about St. Joe's Long Island. The current modern record is 1-4 against St. Joe's, although I count 2-6. So if you add that up, what is that? 3-10. I remember we beat St. Joe's Patshaw a couple times. One time we played them at a tournament there. It was 99 something. We were gonna drop 100 points, and I was on. They threw me the ball. I was in the game. I was up ahead. I was gonna add a fast break opportunity. I hadn't scored all game. I'm seeing wide open, and I'm hearing out of the corner of my ear, coach is like, "Pull it out! Don't shoot! Pull it out!" I was like, "Oh, come on!" I mean, I got an easy layup, and I dribbled all the way to the basket, and then I dribbled out. That's kind of like what Amari said to me. Amari got into the game the other day against Mount St. Mary, and coach was telling him he was on a break, and the ball kind of slipped through. But it's tough decisions, man. Could have made it 100 points, 101 against St. Joe's Patshaw, but pulled it out, kept it at 99. So they are so far 0-3 this year. Looks like they only play about 7 guys, or 7 guys really gets any kind of considerable minutes. Although they might slip in a 9th player or a 10th player every now and then, but usually they only run about 7 guys. Each of the 3 games, they had a slow start in the first half. Again, they're shooting about 60% from the free throw line. This is St. Joe's Patshaw. They lost to William Patterson. They lost to Stony Brook D1, 107-43. They lost to Hartwick and then Penn State Brandywine. They got 5 players in double-digit scoring. And let's see, the key guy is Tayshawn Hawkins, a junior. 14 points per game, 2.3 rebounds, 40% from three-point line. There's another big man. Their big man, A.J. Esposito, 6'7", 13 points per game, 18.3 rebounds, but 4 fouls. He's consistently gotten 4 fouls every game. So if we get him in foul trouble, Lucas, come and do your magic. get under his skin. I mean, that's the first thing I did was when I got into the game, I'd find the biggest guy on the court on the other team and punch him in the nuts or something. You get away with a couple nut punches during the game. Any memories from St. Joe's, Patshaw, Ace?
So when I took a leave in 2019 and I came back in 2022, that was our first game. It was this was when it was me, a younger Cam, Daniel Golub, Patrick O'Gorman, Julian Stahl, Thomas Van Trier, Coach TBT, who was actually on the coaching staff this year. And that's, when we all kind of first came together as a team and we won our first matchup against them. That was a really exciting game. And it was just a really exciting time, to be back, to have me come back to, not just my players, but like my brothers. These are my brothers. So seeing them and then going into battle with them was just really exciting.
Yeah, here are the stats from that game. Pat O'Gorman, 14 points. Cam, 14. TVT, who's assistant coach now, 11. Ace at 8 and 7. So, productive game. You guys were down at the half and then came back and won in the second out in Patshaw. They have a nice gym. I remember it was a small old gym back then. But we'll see. Some of these schools.
We had Seth contributed in that game too. Lucas contributed in that game. So some of the guys that you guys are seeing now, was a part of that as well back then.
Yeah, and it's good to see the growth and the development. We have, and then next Tuesday, so that St. Joe's, Long Island is Saturday at ARC 2 p.m. Then the 25th, the following Tuesday, next week, 7 p.m. at home against St. Joe's, Brooklyn, our hated rivals down the block, St. Joe's, Brooklyn. It says here in modern times we're 0-4. Again, these stats only go back to like 2000 something. I have for my stats, which goes up to 1995, so there's a big gap. So like a 10-year gap. We were 12-6 against St. Joe's, so if you combine the two, around 12-10 or around that. Again, my first game as a collegiate, we beat St. Joe's, Brooklyn. I remember they had a lot of very fundamental players. This year so far, St. Joe's, Brooklyn is 1-2. They had an exhibition game. They lost to Manhattan D1 College. They lost to Gwynedd Mercy. That's in the AEC in Pratt's conference, 81-61. They had 28 turnovers that game. And then they played in a small tournament. They beat a Messiah College, 103-94 in overtime. And then they lost to Washington and Lee, 94-67. And they were pretty much out of it at half. Both losses against Gwynedd Mercy is 42-18 in the first half. And against Washington and Lee, they were 56-25 at half. So they got, they obviously off to a slow start, both of those games. So looking for Pratt to kind of get to that early start. If we can really push the ball up, jump out to that lead, then we can kind of get that cruise to that victory. Guys to watch out for on St. Joe's, Brooklyn. Sophomore guard Colin Mills had 12.3 points per game. There's a junior forward, Jacob Idowu, 10.7 points per game, 7 rebounds. And then a couple other guys, Jordan Bennett, 6'6 forward, freshman, or 6'6, 14 points, 8 rebounds, 6 blocks. And then Justin Munson, 16 points, 8 rebounds. So, any thoughts on the next 3 games, Ace? What's your prediction?
Realistically, I got us going 3-0, honestly. Especially after, our trip to Newburgh. Like you said earlier, the team definitely showed us, what our pieces can do. And that's like something that, I want to see is like, okay, what can our bench do? Like, honestly, having great starters is, excellent, but we need guys to back them up. And once, I saw how we did, it kind of made me say, okay, like now this is starting to feel like, I'm really hopeful now, after seeing how our pieces come together, because everybody is contributing. Everybody has the same energy out there. And I think that's going to, lead us to 3-0 in this next stretch of games.
Yeah, I'm very confident that we're going to go 3-0. We're going to push that record up to 5-1 by the end of November. So St. Joe's, Long Island. We might have we got to play tough against Merchant Marine. It's going to be a
Yeah,
road
for
game.
sure.
Do they get a lot of guys out there in their stadium at home games, or do you
I've
remember?
never played them in
Okay.
their gym. Yeah,
But yeah, we got to come in strong, and again, we get key contributions from the bench. Everybody gets to eat a little bit. We got to cut down on the turnovers, make our free throws. If we can out rebound them, I'm basically going down the list of everything we got to do. But we'll be back next. We're going to do another episode after this. Next one, we're going to review the women's team. We're also going to go over some of the all-time stats. Um, Part of this is too for the guys to connect and understand, like you're wearing a number on your jersey. Some of these things, there is a history that kind of goes along with it. Um, if we look at, I mean, take Trey for example. Trey's wearing number 11. Number 11 was formerly worn by a lot of other players, among them Bobby Fuller. Bobby Fuller is the school's all-time leading scorer. Um, he had 2,000 something points. If you look at number 1, that's Pat. That's Tommy on the team. Pat is the modern day all-time leading scorer. He had 1,400 something points, 1,500 points. So these are all things that I think guys should look out for. Bobby ended with 2,034. What did I get Pat here now? Pat 1,426. So those are all things. The numbers you're wearing on the chest, those are numbers that guys before you have done. Just a quick single game record. Most points, William Badova, 16 points, 60, 6-0 versus Pace. Most rebounds in a game, 33. That's two guys did that. Tom Titus versus Polytech, February 25th, 1972. It's been a while. That's 53 years. Larry Williams versus Mercy, back in 77. Some of these guys have been out to the alumni games, so watch out for them. And then we'll do a whole other episode going over a lot of the records and talk about all-time stuff. All right, Ace, anything else before we get out of here?
If you can, make sure you try to stream the game tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can go to the Pratt men's basketball website, click on the schedule, and you can just click watch, and then the link will appear for you. But yeah, game tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, and hope to see you guys there. Catch up with you next time. We'll try to get some guests on. Talk a little bit about their time at Pratt. But we got to come up with like a phrase, like
An outro.
an outro,
Somehow.
an intro, and an outro. Anything in the comments. Yeah. Okay. Until next time. Peace out.
Until next time.
Well, yeah, but it should be basketball related, right?
Yeah, I'll come up with one for next time.
These are the home whites, by the way. We gotta get you a set of jerseys too, Ace.
Yeah, I do. I need to re-up